What the dog doing? I am back, and today I decided to create a tutorial to help you combine your first C# hack with ImGui. I will go step by step from nothing to a fully working hack with ImGui that you can build upon to create something great. The tutorial will be divided into two parts: finding the addresses in C and ImGui, then writing the trainer. If you want to instantly download the source code rather than follow the video, then I suggest joining the Coffee membership. This tutorial is meant to cover the majority of applications out there, but remember, some processes have an anti-cheat and will ban you if you try to cheat, so please do your research on the app's terms and conditions before you try this out. And as always, if you have any problems or just want me to notice you, leave a comment. Also subscribe, join the family. Why not join the Discord while you're at it? Enjoy. Let's open the finished product. It's a very simple project, and we hit play. You will have one console window and this beautiful ImGui window. And once we have a checkbox, we can check it. It says never lose sons, which means we will never lose sons when we buy. So let's buy a tower. If you look closely, we didn't lose any sun, and we can still pick up more sun. So buy another one, didn't lose anything. So if we uncheck this, we will lose suns when we buy towers. So let's place this. Look, we lost suns, we enable it, and we don't lose suns. So this is one very simple ImGui C# external hack or sheet or trainer that you will hopefully like and learn from. So enjoy this tutorial now. We want to call it. So let's get right into it. Now the game that I will be using will be Plants vs Zombie, the demo version, because I couldn't find my account that I bought the game. So we will have to complete this within 60 minutes of free gameplay left. We will hit play.
Bruh.
And alright, I found the solution. You have to use change directory. So the value that I want to change is the suns in Plants vs Zombies. You use these to buy towers, and I want a limited amount of them. We will now open Sheet Engine and search for the value that we want to change. So I will search for 50, you will search something else. After we have searched for the value, we will have too many addresses. So we will change the value and search for the new value. Now that we have the address that holds the value that we want to change, we could change it dynamically like this, but we want a constant way of changing this. So when we restart the computer, it will still work, and so on. We will open Settings and enable VEH Debugger under Debugger Options. This will make it so it doesn't crash, and then we will find out what writes to this address. Now, with this window, we can catch what instructions writes to this address. So if we lose suns in game, we can capture the instruction that subtracts the sun. Now that we have the instruction, we can replace the code by code that does nothing, 9990 NOPs. Which means if we buy towers, it won't subtract the value. Now that we have found the wanted instruction, we will write down the address and the bytes, because we will use this in our C# project. We will also write down how many NOPs we need. Alright, so let's create a project in Visual Studio in C#, so a console app don't worry that it's a console app and not a graphical interface. We will add that, and the project name will be whatever you like. So mine will be Plants Trainer. I don't know. Click on Next, and I will use the .NET 6 long-term support version of the .NET framework. If you have your own preference, that's fine, but I think Swedz works with .NET 6, my memory library. So once we have this class open, we don't have your usual class code and so on, so we will have to add that, and we will have to add the normal namespace and class program with the static void main method. What we'll do now is install some external libraries for this for ImGui and so on. So we will go into project and manage nuget packages. We will install ImGui. Make sure to use the version 1.89.7.1 because otherwise it will crash upon running the application. We will install 6 labels. And veldrid.imgui. Then vortice.mathematics. And you can see here that we need to use the 1.6.2 version because it's for the .NET 6. And finally, we will install clickable transparent overlay. We will use 6.2.1 for .NET 6, and you could see that it's using all of these other dependencies that we installed. Now the final package will be my memory class, Swedz32. There we go. Now, in your project, we will go into properties, and we will set the project to match the architecture. So this will depend on if you're using or trying for a 64-bit application or a 32-bit. So we go down to build, then platform target. If you have a 32-bit application, you use the 86, and 64-bit, you use the 64. So mine is 32-bit, and in the program, we can continue our code. So to implement these packages, we will have to write down using and then each package. We will now add some class variables. So we will add a boolean to check whether we want to enable the hack or not. Then we will have an int pointer for the module base. Then an integer for the sun address offset. We will now initialize the Swedz library. We do that by creating a new instance of the Swedz class, and then in the parentheses we specify the game. Make sure you have the correct process. You can check it by Sheet Engine, or in the notepad if you have the main module, the process name should be before the .exe. We're now going to implement the ImGui to our program. We do that by inheriting from the overlay. Now, because we're inheriting from the overlay, we will need to implement the render function. Now, this render function will actually not play if we start the program, so we will have to create a new instance of the program and call the start method and .wait. Now, instead of having code in our main method, we will create another function called hackLogic. This will handle all of the memory writing. Now, inside of this method, we will have it always running, so while true, and true is always true. But first, we need to initialize the values for the memory address and our module base. So the sun address, we just copy paste what we had in our notepad with 0x before. Then for the module base, we need to use the Swedz function get module base. Then we write .exe because it's the main module. Inside of that, we will check if the checkbox is enabled. If the checkbox is enabled, we will enable the memory writing. So we will write 90, 90, 90, 90 instead of the original bytes to disable instruction. And if we have it disabled, we will write the original bytes back. Let's add some stuff to our graphical interface. So inside of the render function, we will add a new window by using begin, then add a checkbox and refer to our boolean that we created earlier, then end the window. Our logic method doesn't run yet, so we will have to create a new thread from the main method and run it from there. Don't know if this will work, but let's still try it when the game is open. Remember that's a must. And we can check this address in C&ImGui by copying the address. Then go click on the memory view, then click Ctrl G and paste the address of where we are writing. You will see it here. And we can examine if our hack is working properly. So if we click on this never lose sons, you should see that it knopped inside of C&ImGui without us using the replace code with code that does nothing. So let's check if we can play some towers without losing sons. And would you look at that? We successfully removed the instruction that removes sons from the game. So if we just keep on playing, we will continually increase these sons and not lose anything, because we removed the instruction of losing sons. So this is just one way to code your hack, and there are a million other ways. So pick one that you like and create some cool ImGui hacks so we can disable it, and we should now lose sons. What are you looking at? Yeah. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial.